Hello and welcome back to the Trainers of the World Tournament Season 2. I'm your host DeltaTDS, and today for round 2, match number 58, we've got the contest star Lisia going up against the Team Galactic commander Jupiter. Now, I do believe this is the last Galactic commander to battle, I think, unless there's one more I'm forgetting, but we can see that Lisia's got two of the contest star Pikachus, both at level 99, as Jupiter has a Sableye at level 99. Once these trainers are ready, we're going to see who's going to take game number 1. Starting off with the Sableye and Gengar, Lisia starts off with the Swanna and the Rapidash. Lisia's team is mostly improvised. I think the only Pokemon she canonically has is the Altaria. Everything else has been improvised. Gengar goes Mega, Sableye goes for Fake Out, Sludge Bomb takes out the Rapidash, and Swanna's flinched, unable to do anything. Lisia is going to send out the Drampa now. Sableye with the Will-O-Wisp burning the Swanna, Dazzling Gleam doing 40 to 50% on Lisia's side, and Gengar holds on by a little bit from a critical hit Dragon Pulse from that Drampa as Swanna sets up the Tailwind. Gengar goes Protect, Sableye goes Encore on the Swanna. Dragon Pulse does over half to Sableye. Sableye going Recover, Swanna unable to do anything. Tailwind takes out both of Lisia's Pokemon, leaving her with 3 Pokemon remaining as she sends out both of the Pikachus. One is the Popstar and the other is the PhD. I don't remember what Popstar has, but I know PhD Pikachu has Electric Terrain. Gengar goes Protect. Sableye uses Will-O-Wisp on the Pikachu, burning it. Discharge, boosting the Lightning Rod, only hurting that Sableye. Discharge, boosting the Lightning Rod again. These Pikachu are boosting each other's special attack. Switching out to the Nidoking. Sludge Bomb takes out the Pikachu, Popstar. Discharge takes out the Gengar. And Jupiter sends out the Gastrodon. Altaria Mega Evolves takes 79% from a Poison Jab. Altaria goes Cotton Guard, Pikachu goes Electric Terrain, and Scald burns that Pikachu. Poison Jab takes out the Altaria. Electro Web not able to do anything. And Scald takes out the Pikachu. And Jupiter, with 5 Pokemon remaining, takes game number 1. Now, from Jupiter's side, we didn't see anything from the Skuntank or the Tangrowth. We saw all 4 moves from the Sableye. We saw the Mega Gengar with Sludge Bomb and Dazzling Gleam. And then from Gastrodon and Nidoking, we only saw 1 move from each. From Lisia's side, we saw the Cotton Guard on Altaria. We didn't see anything from the Rapidash. And then from everything else, we saw 1 to 3 moves. Quite a uphill game 1 for Lisia, but it's not over yet. Could always go to a game number 3. And we are back on the field for game number 2, and we can see quite a few new Pokemon. From Jupiter's side, we do notice that Sableye is level 95. We see the Crobat and the Bronzong. I don't think Bronzong was there last game. And then from Lisia's side, we can see the Bell Pikachu, the Florges, the Chimecho, and the Sylveon, with Chimecho being the ace. Once these trainers are ready, we're going to see if Lisia can take a game number 2, or if Jupiter's taking this 2-0 victory. Starting off with the Sableye and the Crobat, Lisia starts off with Pikachu and the Drampa. I don't think we saw much from this Drampa aside from the Dragon Pulse, and Pikachu Bell I think has Icicle Crash. Switching out to the Bronzong, Sableye Mega Evolves, Pikachu goes Protect. Heat Wave doing 28 and 34% to Jupiter's Pokemon. Snarl lowers Grandpa's special attack. Switching out to the Sylveon, Heat Wave burns the Sableye. Explosion doing 42 to Grandpa, 34 to Sylveon. And Dazzling Gleam does another 34 to Grandpa, putting it at 5%. Sylveon currently the only one over half as Gengar comes out on the field. This time not the Mega. Going Ally Switch. Taking a quick attack. Sludge Bomb takes out the Grandpa. And Chimecho is sent out here. Going to Mega Evolve. Not going to take anything from that Sludge Bomb. Hyper Voice takes out the Sableye and brings Gengar to below 2/3 as it sets up a Trick Room, and Jupiter sends out the Gastrodon. It's currently 5v4. Lisia's got the lead, so it is still too early to tell who's going to win. Gastrodon goes Terra Poison, Scald does 15%, Psychic Noise takes out the Gengar, First Body disables Psychic Noise, Mystical Fire does 17% and lowers Gastrodon's special attack. And Jupiter's going to send out the Skuntank, a Pokemon we didn't see anything from last game. Gastrodon goes Protect, Chimecho goes Ally Switch, Hyper Voice does 65% to Skuntank, Corrosive Gas removes Sylveon's Citrus Berry. Skull doing 10% and burning the Chimecho. Heal Pulse healing up Sylveon as it goes for a Hyper Voice, taking out the Skuntank. And Jupiter's just left with that Gastrodon and Crobat. Gastrodon going Protect, Crobat going Protect. Going Ally Switch, Mystical Fire hits that Gastrodon's Protect as the Disable and the Trick Room end. Cross Poison does 50% to Sylveon, poisoning the Sylveon as well. Mystical Fire does 19% to Gastrodon. Psychic Noise, not enough to take out the Crobat. All does 7% to Chimecho. Cross Poison doesn't work on the Chimecho. Mystical Fire doing 60%. Psychic Noise does take out the Gastrodon. The healed block ends for Crobat. Quick Attack not enough to take out Crobat. Cross Poison takes out the Sylveon. Heal Pose fails. Lisia is going to send out the Pikachu. Goes Terra Ice. Ally Switch. Takes the Cross Poison for nothing. And Icicle Crash takes out the Crobat. And Lisia, with 4 Pokemon remaining, it takes game number 2, which means we are moving on to a game number 3. From Jupiter's side, we saw the explosion on Bronzong. We saw the Terra Poison on the Gastrodon. We saw the Mega Sableye with Dazzling Gleam, Snarl, and Ally Switch. And then from everything else, we saw 1 to 2 moves. From Lisia's side, we saw the Mega Chimecho with all 4 moves, being Trick Room, Psychic Noise, Ally Switch, and Heal Pulse. We didn't see anything from Florges or the Rapidash. We saw the Terra Ice on the Pikachu, and then 1 move from Grandpa and 3 moves from the Sylveon, as well as the Citrus Berry on Sylveon as well. We are back on the field for game number 3. We can see the same team from Jupiter from game 1 and the same team from Lisia for game 2. Once these trainers are ready, we're going to see who's going to be taking the match 58. Jupiter sends out the Nidoking and Gengar. Lisia sends out the Rapidash and Chimecho. We know this Chimecho is tough for Jupiter's team to take out, especially being Steel type. Rapidash goes Protect against that Shadow Ball. Poison Jab from the Nidoking doesn't do anything to Chimecho as it goes for a Trick Room. Switching out the Gengar for the Tangrowth, Nidoking goes Terra Water, taking nearly half from that Psychic Noise, and Psycho Cut. Poison Jab does take out the Rapidash, and Pikachu is sent out here. Swapping out the Nidoking for the Gastrodon, Pikachu goes Terra Ice, Psychic Noise does 34% to Gastrodon. Icicle Crash lands into that Tangrowth Protect. Pikachu goes Protect against this Scald and the Ancient Power, as a Psychic Noise does another third to Gastrodon. Gastrodon going Protect, Chimecho going Ally Switch, taking the Ancient Power. Icicle Crash does 29% to Tangrowth as the Trick Room ends. Tangrowth goes Protect against that knockoff and the Psychic Noise. Gastrodon Scald does 66% to Pikachu, no burn this time. Swapping out Tangrowth for the Skuntank, Pikachu goes Protect. Psychic Noise does 34% to Gastrodon, not enough to take it out. And Gastrodon's unable to use Recover because of that Psychic Noise. Gastrodon goes Protect, Sucker Punch takes out the Pikachu. Psychic Noise lands into that Protect. Heal Block ends, and Lisia sends out the Sylveon. Bug Shot doing 82% to Sylveon and poisoning it, activating the Citrus Berry. Hyper Voice takes out the Gastrodon, and Sylveon's left with 30% HP. As Jupiter sends out the Tangrowth, turning to the field once again. Ancient Power doing 11% to Sylveon. Psychic Noise does over half the Tangrowth. Hyper Voice takes out the Tangrowth, nearly takes out the Skuntank. Gunk Shot doesn't hit Chimecho, and Jupiter sends out the Sableye. Sableye going Encore into the Chimecho. Sucker Punch takes out the Sylveon. Psychic Noise doesn't work on the Skuntank, as Lisia sends out the Florges. Swapping out the Chimecho for the Drampa, Will-O-Wisp burns the Florges. Dazzling Gleam takes out the Skuntank, does over half the Sableye. It's now a 3v3 as Jupiter sends out the Gengar. There's one turn of Trick Room left. As Gengar goes Protect, Will-O-Wisp misses the Drampa. Dragon Pulse takes out the Sableye. Dazzling Gleam lands into that Protect. And Jupiter sends out the Nidoking with 12% left. Aqua Tail does over half the Florges. Dazzling Gleam doesn't take out Lisia's Pokemon. Dazzling Gleam does take out the Nidoking. Hyper Voice doesn't hit that Gengar. It's now 3v1. Drampa goes Protect. Dazzling Gleam not enough to take out the Florges. Chilling Water with the crit does 24% to Gengar. The burn takes out Florges, and Chimecho is sent back out here. Shadow Ball doesn't work on that Drampa. Psychic Noise takes out the Gengar, and Lisia takes game number 3 with 2 Pokemon remaining, which means that she is our winner for match number 58. She'll be moving on to round 3, where she'll be facing off against the winner of match number 91 between the photographer Perrin and the Pokemon trainer Alon. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.